Let's see here. All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today, we're going to talk about how the truth is often stranger than fiction in the blockchain world, especially in the Ethereum space. We're seeing the NFT craze, just take off like a rocket, and I think we've just seen what might be, peak mania over NFTs right now. We just saw one or a collection of digital artworks sell for $69 million. I want to make sure I'm reading that right here on the screen. All right. And then also an individual NFT sell for, I think it was $8 million. Okay. So I'm going to look this up actually on screen and verify the facts as we're talking about this. Some of this is just brand new, just coming to my attention. So I don't want to, get it wrong, but this is absolutely insane. All right. We're talking about that. We're going to look at the markets. Talk a lot of other cool things that are going on in the blockchain space. So before we get into that, if you're new around here, I'm Gregory. On this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. I do these live streams on this channel Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So make sure you smash the like button down below, subscribe, turn on notifications so you get notifications about those when they come out. Some people say they aren't getting the notifications. You can just show back up here about this time. So, I usually start at, around 9:30 a.m. Central Time, or a little bit late today. That's okay. But anyways, if that's something you're interested in, of course, smash the like button, subscribe. If you want to become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so we got a bunch of people rolling in the chat here. So Edward, Edu, Infamous Arturo, Soulmane, Rodrigo, John, Manny, Cajun, Eva. Hope I'm saying it right. All right, so let's get into this. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Beeple collection selling for $69 million. All right. So this is we've been talking about this collection a little bit on this channel. So this is a digital artwork collection, powered by NFTs with Ethereum, selling at Christie's auction house. We're talking about what a big deal this is for sort of NFT mainstream adoption. The fact that it's even going to Christie's is huge. And the current price is $69 million for digital artwork. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So I mean, insane in a good way, right? I'm not talking down about this. This is absolutely crazy. Yesterday, and here you go. Look at this. Look at this on Christie's auction house. You can also see the wallet address, the smart contract address. You can see that the art type is non-fungible token in JPEG form. I mean, it's crazy that we see Ethereum addresses and the word smart contract on Christie's website. This is absolutely crazy. So also, CryptoPunk, Alien Punk sold for 4,200 ETH yesterday, $7.5 million. All right. We saw the account floating around who purchased it. You can see here, did a signature verification on Etherscan as well. That's a pretty cool thing about Etherscan. You can actually verify your account. So if you're an anonymous user, you can verify that this is your wallet address. You do a message sign on Etherscan, post a link. Pretty crazy. NFTs, big deal. Some people think this is like peak mania, that this is like a massive top signal for NFTs. It might be. I think there's a lot of financial risk in holding really expensive NFTs in particular. I mean, if you want to hold, it's not financial advice, of course. I'm just thinking about me personally. I would be a little bit worried about holding expensive NFTs right now. Holding some cheaper NFTs that don't have as far to fall, maybe not as big a risk, especially if you don't care about the monetary value as much and you care more about digital artworks. But I might be a little scared to hold a multi-million-dollar CryptoPunk right now. Somebody says, who are these people buying this for 69 million? Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? So let's go ahead and check out on the markets. But yeah, this is definitely a case where the truth is often stranger than fiction in blockchain. I've seen so many crazy things happen in the blockchain world. I mean, you see people go from like, borderline homeless, like living out of their car, to like insta millionaire. You see, We see people get crazy airdrops from DeFi projects. 5-figure airdrops. Some people get 6-figure airdrops. It's absolutely insane. And this is another example of times when you have to just like step back and say, "Is this real life? Like, am I watching this? Is this real?" So let's check on the markets. So we'll start off with Ether. Okay. So yeah, we're a little bit in the red from yesterday. Okay. This looks a little bit bearish. Like I said, I don't think there's anything big picture that would cause me to really freak out about Ether long term. One thing I did start thinking about yesterday, which is we saw several days of green kind of in a row for Bitcoin, and it wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you see these multiple days here. Again, I need to pull up a better chart. But if you're looking at this like candlestick charts, these would basically be green candles because you're making progress every single day. March 5th, March 6th, March 8th, March 9th, March 10th, March 11th. It wouldn't surprise me if we got a little bit of red here for the short term in Bitcoin. I would assume that would probably trickle over to ETH as well. Yeah, you got some short term bearishness here, but like I said, big picture, I don't see anything major that's changed with the crypto markets. We could check our Nupal chart. Give me 1 second here. Let me just flip over. Okay, let's see here. So yeah, the metric here, sorry, let's see here. All right, here we go. I got it. Just share my screen here. So let's look at Nupal, see where we are. So, oh, this is in February. Hold on a second. I was about to say that I was like, whoa, I didn't think we go up that high that fast. All right, everybody, hold on 1 second. Let me just move this to the bottom here. Okay, yeah, that looks better. So yeah, we're still approaching up towards the 0.75 line. Of course, if we cross this line, we go into euphoria, which we don't want to do for the long-term health of the market. We're still approaching that. We'll see what happens. I'm not worried until we get close to that. I mean, I'm looking at daily changes here. Like it's kind of hard to go. It's kind of hard to move like an entire tenth of a point here. Like it doesn't look like we're really gonna do that like in one day or anything. Maybe like 3 or 4 tenths of a point. So I wouldn't worry too much about like tomorrow, looking at the chart and we're at euphoria or something like that. I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay. So let's look at another thing that I want to talk about. So, we've been talking a ton about scaling on this channel, about reducing the gas fees, but I also want to talk about the fact that it's greatly going to improve Ethereum's throughput. Like it's going to make Ethereum faster as well, not just cheaper to use. So I mentioned yesterday on the stream about Vitalik going on to the Tim Ferriss podcast with Naval Ravikant. And there was an excerpt from that. I didn't get to listen to the entire thing. It's really long. Maybe like on a weekend or something like that. If I have a little extra time, I'll get around to actually listen to the whole thing. Maybe I'll just cruise through it on 2x or something, 2.5x. But there's an excerpt that I saw that was really good and something I haven't been reiterating enough on this channel, which is about how it's going to make Ethereum actually faster too. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So basically, Vitalik talks about Ethereum essentially getting to scale 100x from where it is today, roughly, in a matter of months. Okay, with layer 2 that we've been talking about. So I've been talking about how layer 2 is going to really help the gas fees on Ethereum. It's also going to help it get a lot faster. So imagine, the 15 transactions per second we have now, and the kind of long block time we have for Ethereum, really getting a lot better, like soon, like by the summer, having a really fast, cheap Ethereum, and then EIP 1559 kicks in July. It's going to be absolutely crazy. So there's lots that goes into scaling. You know what I mean? So the long-term solution here, and this is something people need to understand, is we don't have to wait for Ethereum 2.0 to fully get here before Ethereum can scale. Layer 2 is really going to help with that, as we're seeing here. But Ethereum 2.0 will really help with the transactions in the future because of sharding. So sharding is going to be the big thing that helps take care of scalability on the base layer itself. Okay, so the whole idea there is that you break the entire network up into smaller shards so that the entire, all the confirmations don't have to make an entire round trip through the entire blockchain. So let's see if we got some questions here in the chat. Somebody says that when ETH comes like 2.0, will there be two ETHs in the market? Will they fuse into the same stock? So basically, I think what they're saying is, will I get free coins? Like, will I get ETH on the old ETH and then new ETH on the new ETH? New ETH on ETH 2.0? No, your ETH will just migrate over. You won't have two coins. I mean, unless there's a fork and they resist. But people talk about this with the miners, especially for EIP 1559. For the major forks that are coming up, it just doesn't seem to be like there'd be a critical mass of people who would agree to use the old versions that aren't forking. And therefore, like, why would miners like mine a chain that why would anybody maintain a chain that nobody used? I guess is my question. So somebody says, when Ethereum goes to proof of stake, will it be more centralized? More centralized than it is today? That's a good question. I have to do some analysis on because here's the thing. The short answer is Ethereum's not just going to become like a centralized chain where only like 10 people run it. That's not going to happen. But to better answer your question, like to quantify your question, like how many stakers would we have versus how many miners would we have? Because don't forget also, like, the amount of mining is concentrated around mining pools, stuff like that. So I would need to quantify that to give you a better answer to your question. But the short answer is, like, Ethereum's not just going to become this like crazy centralized chain where like only 12 people stake or something like that. That's not going to happen. So somebody says, if the roll-up short-term solution is extremely successful, doesn't that run the risk of postponing the implementation of ETH 2.0? No, I don't think so, because there's a lot of people who are staking who want to get their staking rewards. I mean, there's lots of other reasons, I would say, but there's a huge economic incentive now to get ETH 2.0 out here because people have ETH locked up in the staking contracts and are currently staking on ETH 2.0 that like want their money back. Or not necessarily want their principal back, but want to take some of their profits maybe from ETH, maybe just to restake it. All right, you know what I mean, something like that. So there's lots of incentive to get ETH 2.0 out here. That's just one that comes directly to mind. Somebody says Amazon can shut down ETH. Not really. I mean, somebody might be talking about like the fact that a good number of like ETH nodes run on AWS. Unfortunately, that's true for a lot of blockchains. It's not like exclusively an ETH problem, but it's not like ETH's going to go down or anything like that if AWS went down. Not completely, no. We do want to have We do want to have more ETH validators running on in a decentralized way, though, off of just these, web servers as a service. Somebody says, will the miners' revolt on April 1st affect prices? I don't know. Should ETH consider POAs? I'm assuming they mean proof of authority. No. Okay, so let's look at a couple more things here. So one really cool kind of speculation going around is with a potential American Bitcoin ETF. Okay, so we've seen some other pushes for ETFs in other countries, but there's some speculation about Grayscale trying to push for a Bitcoin ETF, which could be crazy. So Bitcoin ETFs are something that people have been talking about for a long time, being a huge catalyst. Huge catalyst for institutional investors, not just institutional investors, but people more in the traditional financial system to get exposure to Bitcoin through exchange traded funds. And yeah, there's some speculation about Grayscale doing an effort to do that. I haven't seen anything official from Grayscale talking about how they are doing this, right? But people are kind of like looking at some breadcrumbs online, kind of putting the pieces together and thinking like, hey, maybe this is where it's headed. Which if they do, that would be crazy. I think a Bitcoin ETF could be potentially huge, and it'd be really interesting to see where it, how it would time with market cycles. So if it's true that we are, still in the crypto cycle phase of things where we hit a peak and we go into a multi-year bear market. I don't know how much good like a new ETF is going to be when the price is going down. If we have other like better products in the in the traditional financial markets like futures or like anything that lets people bet on the price going down, it could be bad because it could just make the price go even farther to the floor. But yeah, we'll see. That could be cool. So let's see here. Yeah, someone talking about Bitcoin ETF in Canada. Yep, I've been watching that too. Oh, so one thing I actually did want to talk about too is a cool project that somebody built who was at the last masterclass. So this was somebody's actual NFT project they launched live on the mainnet. Who did it with our training? So let me pull that up because I thought this was pretty cool. Let me just see here. And actually, before I do that, I'll answer an FAQ that I saw on one of the videos the other day because I think this is a really. I'll answer it while I'm pulling up that other question. So let me just show you this here. So this was a comment that I got on one of the one of the videos the other day, talking about the fee burn for ETH. So EIP 1559, I've been talking about the video yesterday that was talking about this big change. Somebody says the infinite supply of ETH minus burnt fee still equals infinity. Am I missing something? Are they capping the max supply of ETH? So that's a good question. I've talked a lot in this channel about the supply of ETH. The fact that ETH has no supply cap is a feature, not a bug. But the whole thing to understand here is that ETH has a fixed issuance schedule that is a fixed amount. Okay, and the actual inflation decreases over time, and it trends towards zero. And with EIP 1559, if there's enough network activity sustained, it could become deflationary by nature too, okay? So the whole idea here is you don't want to have a fixed supply cap for ETH. People talk about Bitcoin having a fixed supply, how that makes it a hard money, but ETH can still be a hard money if it follows a very, 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 very predictable inflation schedule. And with this new feature, it could become deflationary. the whole idea is that you want to keep paying people who run the network, because think about it, when Bitcoin's supply cap, starts to be reached, like you start getting close to all the 21 million Bitcoins, the miners have to get paid somehow, right? Don't forget, like new Bitcoin is being produced whenever transactions are mined. And at that point, you know, you got to rely on fees. Okay, so there's some people talk about other possible solutions out there. I'm not gonna diss on Bitcoin or anything like that. I mean, I hold Bitcoin. I'm a big believer in Bitcoin as well. But it's something that ETH is like sort of 2 steps ahead of the game on, and it's by design. Somebody says 21 million Bitcoins won't be reached for over 100 years. Yes, that's true. But you will get to that problem actually a lot sooner, because it's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder to mine those last Bitcoins. Okay, so I found the let me pull it up here. So I found this project here. So this was a project that somebody built who went to the last masterclass we did, the NFT masterclass. So I'm gonna, let's just see here. So I got a message from this person, and I thought this was really awesome. So let's see here. So this was an ability to actually name a star on the blockchain. So this is the first time I saw anybody pull this idea off, so I thought this was really innovative. They took what they learned from the NFT masterclass and created their own, site here, live in production, where you can name a star on the blockchain with an NFT. Okay, you get your certificate. All right, you name your star. All right, you add it to your wallet. And there you go. And it was on Product Hunt, right? So it was a number 59 featured on Product Hunt. Immortalize yourself on the blockchain. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. This is really creative. So I'm super excited about this. Let's see here. So he has a YouTube channel, which I saw. So I'll plug that as well while I'm here. So I can find it. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here you go. Click the YouTube link down below. Here's his YouTube channel. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So he's a piece of programmer already. Has coding content. So go check that out if you want to. But yeah, I thought that was awesome. Got some people building some really neat projects. Okay, so we got some more questions in the chat here. I'll answer a couple more questions and I'll wrap it up for today. So somebody talking about want to join the masterclass. So the masterclass is over. It's a live event. We have replays available into the Blockchain Mastery membership. We'll probably open that up again soon. So it's not currently open, but as soon as we keep an eye on the videos, we'll probably open it up again soon for the next masterclass that's coming up. And if you join the membership program, you get access to all the masterclasses we've already done. So somebody said, this is a good question. Is it too much of a risk to be a validator? That's a really good question. There's pros and cons to this for sure. I'm assuming you're talking about a validator on ETH 2.0. So probably the biggest risk right now is that you have to hold 32 Ether. You have to send it to the beacon chain for Ethereum 2.0, and you can't get that back until we exit, basically until we have access to that chain. Okay, so that's honestly the biggest risk for being a validator right now. Of course, there's lots of other risks, like you need to be technically proficient. You need to be able to set up a validator that's secure, where your funds can't be compromised. There's lots of steps in moving money around to become a validator. So you gotta be really comfortable with, custodying your own cryptocurrency that way. But I'd say the biggest risk right now is just having to lock up your ETH for an undetermined amount of time and not being able to get it back until you have access to those funds. So if that's still okay with you, then go for it. Well, not financial advice, as always. Gotta be really careful about that on this channel. So somebody says Coinbase is paying 7.5% and you can use any amount of ETH and it's insured. Yeah, waitlist. So that's true. A lot of people will say that they prefer the more centralized sort of solutions that will custody the crypto for you, offer you staking rewards, and they basically take a percentage fee off the top. I think a lot of people are just going to do that because they don't have to hold 32 Ether. They can do any amount. They don't have to worry about their funds getting compromised. I totally get that. I'm a realist. I think that's probably what many people are going to do. But there'll still be a lot of people who actually stake. Because think about it, the exchanges who are paying you that, they probably have to run their own validators in order to, make that profit and let you do it. So there's going to be lots of people staking on the network that are offering that service to others. I mean, I think a lot of the crypto and DeFi solutions are going to exist in sort of the self-driving bank world where we have just regular user interfaces where, the mom and pop user who don't really understand much about blockchain log into a website that manages everything for them. And then those websites still do DeFi on the back end. I think we're going to see that in the future. And I think that's probably what it'll look like for sort of quote unquote mass adoption. I think some of the barriers to getting to that point are some of the regulations out there. But yeah, it's for basically, I think we can have just traditional banking websites right now that get swapped out on the back end for DeFi. That's a very likely path forward, in my opinion. I mean, nobody's got a crystal ball, but that seems to be the best sort of trade-off that reflects human nature and the technological innovation that's happening now. But the advanced users can still access DeFi directly on the back end. Do I think that ETH will establish a new all-time high in March? It's a good question. I think it can. I don't know if it will, but I think it can. All right, everybody. I'm going to go wrap it up here for today. As always, smash that like button down below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so people can learn about blockchain. If you like these videos and you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, how can you get your hands dirty today? You go to my YouTube homepage. You can find any of my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. If you like those, you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step from start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. Okay. You have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero programming background become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. All right. So that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.